Hi, good evening. Thanks again for joining us for S.H.E Gallery session this evening. I'm Trickster, your host. I'm joined by Miss Tracy Kostenbader.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. She's a practicing visual artist with a thriving studio presence here in Chicago, a founding member of S.H.E Projects, and S.H.E's lead artist, producer, and principal curator. She has produced many events, exhibitions, and community murals with S.H.E members and hosts weekly art making days at S.H.E's Logan Square location. Thank you, Tracy, for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, how are you this evening?
I'm all right.
All right, glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Made it here in the snow. I
Yes.
didn't realize there was a blanket of snow because I was at work.
Yes, it is. We blanket. I'm glad you got here safely.
Yes. Yes.
Again, viewers, please join us for S.H.E Gallery session tonight, 312-738-1060. I'm Trickster, your host, and our topic is the whole phenomena of the graffiti and street art movement collectively around the world. Okay, so welcome to the S.H.E Gallery show, Tracy.
Yeah.
For those of you newly joining, again, we had 10 sessions, a topic on all the different tenets of graffiti and the graffiti art movement. In our first session, our topic was the phenomenon of graffiti, how graffiti started, how graffiti and street art, the movement collectively grew to encompass and become a global culture. In the second session, we talked about the art and craft, and we had our guest was Flash of the Artistic Bombing Crew. He came in and we talked a lot about the different aspects of the art form itself, how a person could come to be a part of the movement and learn some of the different crafts about it. And it was very interesting. We talked a little bit about some of the different aspects of how graffiti can be recognized, meaning you may see some things are like the smaller parts of graffiti, and then it grows and gets more complex as it goes along. And today's session is about galleries and collectors. Galleries are a big part of modern art, collectively, and we're gonna take some time and review some video equipment, and then we're gonna talk with Tracy a little bit more in detail.
Okay.
Give us a moment, and we're going to view a few moments of video. A lot of people look at different structures. A lot of people doing three-dimensional things, things that look like minerals, or things that have geometric structures, things that have science like geometric structures that mimic geometry. Like this is a piece the artist did. So when I mentioned that aesthetically, we've taken every other genre of art form and depicted it in varying ways. So we have three-dimensional structures, things that reflect gemology, things that reflect angles, things that are organic. And quite more specifically, we have other things, other art that depicts all these varying styles. And you can see the diversity in many of these pictures here. Let's take a quick look at these. All right. So again, a youth artist. So for parents, and what we've just shared, you can look at it in that light. So if people again say, well, why do you guys do it? I say in that old response to argument, our goal is transition, going through these youth rites of passage so that we can progress with this art form. Are we aware of the status of our schools today as they relate to arts and arts education on that question? So they say, well, the main thing that a person might say is, well, why don't you go to art school? Why don't you do it legally? Why don't you go and put it in an art gallery? And again, what happened at the early onset of that was we refused. We were considered an outsider form. But now look at it. Look where it's at now. What other art form is there that we haven't encapsulated? But that is the crux of what I wanted to share with you. There's a plethora of art out there that you can see on the internet that depicts, we can do portraiture, landscapes. There's beautiful landscapes where they do really immaculate old master style painting. with spray paint. So pretty much all those art forms have been encapsulated. And again, one factor I think is also pertinent is the concept of this research.
Oh yeah.
We have a history of research from the 1700s. From the 1500s. This is documented references that we have on graffiti research.
Okay. All right. That was an excerpt from a graffiti lecture we did at Hairpin Galleries here in Chicago. I show that to recap where we were on the previous session, which entailed the art and craft. So we talked about the different aspects of how graffiti artists utilize all other genres of art in our dynamic form, because it is a encompassing form. It has dynamism in that it incorporates all other genres in its style and presentation. Okay, and today's session, galleries and collectors. Around the world, graffiti is being perceived and growing in its appeal. Even in some of the larger galleries like Sotheby's and Christie's, graffiti art is regularly being put on the auction. So it's definitely getting mainstream acceptance. But what our focal is in this endeavor is awareness, and getting people's awareness as it relates to youth and youth culture and education and the delivery of extended arts curriculum. All right, Tracy, galleries. Go ahead and give us a little brief summation of some of your accolades and some of your experience.
So I founded Any Squared with a few other people in 2009.
Okay.
Or 2010.
Okay.
And we've put on many exhibits, both featuring, wall artists and graffiti artists, and also put on different kinds of events where a lot of graffiti artists were participating in. And also one of the things that we've done in terms of is help coordinate things, get permission for walls, also help people hang shows. We just did a show at Kohl's. I mean, we hang things anywhere. We kind of go any place, anytime, anywhere, any squared.
That's great. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's like we put up pop-up exhibits, and we put up exhibits in places you don't usually find really good exhibits. We put really good exhibits up. And we also have events, and we've and one of our key things in terms of Any Squared is collaborating. And we've collaborated with a lot of graffiti artists and graffiti arts organizations like Renegades of Funk, ABC, different groups of people. We've done murals with groups of graffiti artists. So our relationship, we're not necessarily a graffiti artist group, but many of our members are, and many of our friends are. So we end up interacting with the graffiti community all the time.
Okay.
And also, we also like house the ladders and sometimes the scaffolds for Project Logan, which is a changing wall in Logan Square, which probably Flash talked about in terms of something that he was working on.
That's one of the most probably the longest running and most popular mural painting exhibitions and regular yearly events that goes on. It constantly goes on. Sometimes multiple times throughout the year it's painted over.
It's painted over in the summer all the time.
All the time,
in the winter,
yes.
you would be surprised at how much it gets painted in the
Yes,
winter.
yes. It is a very popular destination.
So we hold some of the wall paint they roll the wall with, and we house that stuff because we're about a block away from it. So our main thing is collaboration. And we're not a gallery per se, but we put up art shows, and we've worked with different galleries, and we've worked with the Hairpin Art Center, where a project, where ABC had a show at the Hairpin Art Center.
Okay, correct. Yes.
Yes, and we also have had exhibits there, but we also have included, we have had a lot of cross-pollination of artists between Any Squared, ABC, Renegades of Funk, and other arts crews. We also,
The Eagle event is also a well-known social gathering that's done on a regular basis too.
Yeah, and that's-
it has a regular audience of like this year was one of the largest, I think. It was
Really?
it was huge.
I didn't make it out this
It was huge. It was huge.
And it's every year
Every
in
year.
in the square proper, and there's a lot of things going on there.
Okay.
And so for us, as you know, for what we're doing, in terms of, I think graffiti art has been making it out there, and people are showing graffiti art. There's galleries that are dedicated to street artists, which is a little different than graffiti art. But there's much more of a popularity of graffiti art in the world now. I think that it's being respected, finally. You know,
I agree.
I definitely respect it. So
Okay. Yes, and we're here live on at S.H.E Gallery's talk session tonight. We're talking about graffiti and street art and the collective movement across the world. We can be viewed online at cantv.org/hotline. And you also can give us a call in tonight and share with us some of your experiences or expertise on the topic, graffiti and street art. Give us a call, 312-738-1060. Again, our guest tonight is Miss Tracy Kostenbader. Kostenbader. And she is been instrumental in the community. I've been affiliated with her friends for quite some time now, and I recall back in the days when we did some mural projects in Logan Square, and she was definitely a motivating figure there, and she has been ever since. She's like a patron of the arts, a muse, if you say. She's a protector of the arts, a championer of the cause. She's well known and loved all around the city, and we look forward to developing more projects with you.
yes.
So collectively, the movement in Chicago, I've been noticing a lot more shows and exhibits and touring artists coming in doing some of the mural projects here, especially in the Randolph Arts Corridor. We've had some feature artists come in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the movement, again, it is growing, and it's about nurturing it. It's about enriching it and ensuring that the culture continues. So that is why preservation is a big thing. That is why, things of an archival nature. We have talks about a cultural museum in the works currently, and I look forward to that being a big part of that. Now, you as an artist, you're also a visual artist.
Yes.
When you were doing arts, can you recall what the gallery circuit like? Was it challenging as an artist in general to get into galleries?
I don't get into galleries that much.
Okay.
I create a lot of shows, and I'm in some galleries occasionally, but group shows.
Group shows, okay.
Yeah, and I've been in two-person shows, one-person shows. For me, I'm more, my practice is like organizing art and focusing on other artists coming up. And I've also, it's been fun to also introduce some of the young artists to some of the graffiti artists that I know from Project Logan and from the other things. So from Project Logan and also the different arts groups that are around that have been doing graffiti art for years. Me as an artist, I use the word form. Like I use words in my pieces constantly. So and in terms of, I think that I am not a commercial artist. Like I'm not in commercial galleries. I'm in more like community galleries or community kind of spaces. Because I definitely am not as much of a commercial artist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I got you.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
and also, what I've been doing for a very long time is creating shows that young artists can be in, and up and coming artists can be in with older artists who are more experienced.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, we're going to look at another video shortly, and then we're going to share some more discourse with Tracy on the topic of graffiti and street art. Thanks for joining us. This is S.H.E Gallery, sharing his energy gallery, instrumental here in Chicago on a whole host of social issues, that revolve anywhere from community issues to the arts to various other issues. So we're here tonight at cantv.org/hotline. You can reach us at 312-738-1060. We'd love to hear your voice and opinions and concerns on these topics that we're talking about tonight as they relate to the arts. Give us a call. Okay, so we have another video session we're going to look at in a moment. Let me pull that up shortly. Okay, now this video is available online. It's very popular. It talks about street art and the art and the current art market. It's pretty informative. Maybe Tracy, once we view this, we can share on some of the tenets mentioned in it.
How do you access your art? Perhaps you're part of the 0.001% of the population to attend art fairs, where 68% of contemporary art sales take place. Or perhaps you're of the opinion that the significance of art isn't determined by its market share, in which case you might prefer the vast variety of art to be found outside of art fairs. But still, it can't be denied that money attracts art, and art fairs attract the money. So if the type of art that you like starts to become a little bit too popular, it might start disappearing from where it's meant to be.
Graffiti off of the wall. Put it back into the
And
gallery.
start appearing at
Shut
art
from the
fairs.
gallery and then put that. We have a caller.
In the beginning,
Okay, we're going to pause for a moment and come back to this.
there was religious art.
It's
Then
media.
art
We have a caller.
academies.
Can we take
Then
that caller?
Art galleries, art dealers,
Yeah, hi.
art auctions.
We have a caller. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Grant. How you doing? Is this Trickster?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Greg?
Great. I just wanted to call in and ask how does it feel to be the first one to ever wear pants?
To wear what?
Pants.
Pets?
Pants, you know, PANTS, pants.
Well, the first one?
Yeah, I heard you invented the letter R. Is that true?
Well, I utilize that in my craft from time to time. Yes, I do.
Twice, every time you do a piece.
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome. I'm a big fan of yours, sir. I appreciate the work you've done, and I go ahead and applaud you for being such a pioneer in the Chicago graffiti scene, and I understand that you've been a big mentor to many people, and for that I applaud you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for calling, Grant. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Also, man, if you ever invent anything like pants, like maybe like half pants, like shorts,
Okay.
or something like that, let me know, man, because that'd be something I'm into.
Okay, I have some. Actually, I have some available. I'll follow up with you. We have some. You can contact us at a later time, and I can assist you with that. Definitely. Thanks for calling.
Oh,
Appreciate you.
If you put some pockets in there, son, you'd be killing it.
Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate you.
Chi-Town, son.
No doubt.
Peace.
All right, peace. Thanks for calling. All right, so we're gonna resume this video really quick, and me and Tracy we'll talk a little bit about it shortly. It's very good content.
Art prizes, art press, art critics, art curators, art advisors, art fairs, biennales, corporate sponsorship, till eventually it became very difficult to find the art in the art world.
Hello, Internet. Every day I try to understand why an art critic of my stature has been reduced to living amongst the garbage, and it seems I need your help. We've explored how art galleries were invented and how conceptualism is great for business, but today's journey is all about how the art world makes its real money.
I'm talking about art fairs. Never been to one? Neither have I. Art fairs don't need art critics, they only need celebrities, sales reps, and investors. Even so, art fairs in one form or another have dominated the art world for centuries. Before the art fairs of today, there was the Paris Salon and the Royal Academy. Yearly art sales of giant proportions that any artist could enter, but only if they could get past the judges. Rejection could mean the end of an artist's career, so effectively the judges controlled the direction of art for almost 150
So Tracy,
years.
in previous episodes,
But
we
that
talked
all
about
started to change
outsider
in
art
1874.
and how
The Impressionists
the outsider
began their own
artists
exhibitions
were
of
shunned
paintings
from some of the
rejected
mainstream
by the
galleries.
salon.
Yes.
When we
And
say
this is why we
Impressionism,
recapped this
most
as it
people
relates
think
to
of
graffiti
one
and street
thing,
art.
and that's paintings like this, that capture the light of a particular moment. Everybody knows that the Impressionists revolutionized the way we paint. What we forget is that they also revolutionized the way we access art. Around the time that the Impressionists broke away from the salon, the art world was going through a media revolution. The explosion of print media allowed the Impressionists to capture the headlines, prompting more artists to leave the salon. Without centralized control, suddenly the art world became a place of incredible variety. The judges had lost control, and the explosion of art that followed is what we now call modern art. But aren't we past that now? Art moves forward and the salon's gone, so why mention it?
Because art, like everything else, repeats itself, and the controlling force of the salon has returned. In 1970, there were just 3 major art fairs around the world. Today, there are over 200. There might not be any judges, but there are financial barriers, meaning that only the strongest commercial galleries need apply. Is it any wonder why so many artists follow the Impressionists by making art outside of the conventional system? But no subculture can resist the allure of money forever. When street artists aren't selling out their own
Outsider
shows,
artists
they're painting murals in
created
curated art
another
districts
gallery
that are
movement.
located suspiciously
And
close
that
to the world's
gallery
most
movement,
financially lucrative
created
art
other
fairs.
artists, outdoor public art artists that came out from
But
the
perhaps real graffiti is
to the
still
public.
important.
And now
It
they're taking
attacks
the public
property. And that's
to
the
the
one thing that
They're
can't be
cutting-
condoned
they're
by an
cutting the
art world
walls.
that has
I
Taking the
know.
walls.
one true value.
That's amazing. Look, they're cutting the walls, graffiti walls, and making fun of them.
Which is crazy. Although I don't mind when Flash does it.
I know, it's cool,
Pieces
yeah.
of the walls fall off. It's Project
So the irony of it is
What
what
do
we
you
were
think?
wanting to
Can
emphasize.
subcultures
Yes.
present a real alternative to the art world, or are they just waiting to be corrupted by the art market? I want to hear your answer,
Okay.
because this time I really don't know.
All right. Okay. Again, thanks for joining us. S.H.E Gallery, sharing his energy. Give us a call, 312-738-1060. We're on live at cantv.org, CanTV21, CanTV /hotline. Give us a call. So Tracy, I wanted to emphasize that because of the irony of that.
Yes,
Isn't
that was
bizarre?
fire. It is very
It
bizarre.
go full circle to the point where they're cutting the wall with the graffiti.
They're cutting out the
and putting
walls.
it back in the museum.
Yes.
That's
When people
bizarre.
are trying to be free.
Yes,
And
I
make
know.
art in the world for everyone. And that's, that's why, I've coalesced so much with graffiti artists is about the general attitude of art being out in the world and for everyone, not for elite. And so that was a funny video.
Okay. So anything you'd like to share with us as far as maybe some future exploits or some potential projects coming up that maybe some people can come and see some great art get created?
We're, we always have an art making session on Wednesdays at any squared. You can look us up. But also, we're collaborating with ABC again in the summer, doing Against the Fence, June 22nd. So
Okay.
that's around Project Logan, and I think we're doing it again. We're
All
already
right.
doing that.
That's
And
so
also, I think that for me, just a parting note, is that art is for everyone, and art should be out there in the community, and that's one of the reasons why I've always respected graffiti artists. And so that is why I've collaborated with graffiti artists and support the graffiti arts community doing more stuff and finding walls so people can paint.
All right. Well, that concludes our session this evening. I'll give you our contact information to follow up with us, to contact me or Tracy. Let me get this information for you. And thanks again for joining us as usual. And we look forward to seeing you for the next session of S.H.E Gallery.